Hi you guys. So in this video I'm gonna replace a turbocharger on a Mazda BT50. I think it's about a 2012 model or so. The turbocharger's actually got a crack in the casing. I don't know how that happened. I was driving the vehicle, I pulled off the road, had a pedal. Vehicle was idling. When I pulled away, it went into limp mode. Couldn't figure out what the problem was, and then eventually I saw that there was a crack in the turbocharger, so I've got to replace it. This is how I'm gonna do it. First thing I've got to do is to remove the battery, and that's just a 10 spanner to undo both terminals, bracket over there, then the battery comes out. That's the turbocharger's actually casing. That's the turbocharger right there, and it's quite difficult to get to. So what I'm going to do to make it easier for myself is I'm going to remove the air filter and the air filter housing and the air filter pipe that goes actually to the front of the turbocharger. It's pretty simple. Unclip those 3 clips there. I'm going to pull this plug out, take this clamp off, then I can remove that. Then there's 3 bolts to remove the air filter casing, and then this on the front of the turbocharger. But I'm going to remove this first. It'll just make my life so much easier. So with the air filter out of the way, I now have more space to work. So the next thing, this is the air intake. The next thing we're going to do is just undo that clamp. I'm not going to undo that. I'll do that once the turbocharger is out, and then remove that thin dust cover so I can see what's going on below it. I'm going to do that quickly. So with the heat shield removed, I'm trying to show you that there is the exhaust. This is the exhaust casing of the turbocharger. That there is where it bolts onto the manifold. So to get the exhaust off, there's 3 bolts here. That one, there by my finger, there's one, that one, and then one down the bottom there where that finger is. Then hopefully the exhaust will move back far enough for that bolt to come out, that stud. Otherwise I'll have to turn that stud out. So I'm going to do that quickly. You can see here, there the turbocharger is cracked. It's open. I really don't know how that happened, but I'll show you once it's out. I've looked to see if it was maybe pressing on the alternator bracket, but it's clear there's nothing pushing on it. So I don't know why that broke. Maybe the people at the turbocharger repair place will be able to shed some light on it. Anyway, I'm gonna remove the exhaust, 3 exhaust bolts quickly. So okay, I've got all 3 exhaust bolts loose. Next thing I'm gonna undo is the oil feed pipe, which is that one, just the number 10 spanner. Undo that. Once I've undone that, I suppose I better take off the oil return pipe at the bottom of the turbocharger. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get to it yet, but I'm going to worry about this one now. So I've got the oil feed off. I've just moved it out of the way. There is a flexible bit on it, so it's not going to bother you. I think the next thing that I'm going to do is remove that boost pipe. That boost pipe is just a hose clamp. That boost pipe that goes all the way to the intercooler over here, over there. So I'm going to remove that quickly. So before you can pull the exhaust off, there's a bracket with 2 bolts at the bottom of the car. You'll have to crawl in at the bottom to undo, otherwise this flange won't slide back, and it might still not slide back. We might have to remove that stud, but I'm going to crawl in underneath quickly and undo that that bracket. Then we'll take it from there. Also, the oil return is going to be a very tricky one. There's 2 bolts. You can't even see there. I can't see the one that's on that below that finger. That's where the one is. probably reach them from the bottom, but yeah, it's going to be a challenging one. Anyway, I'm going to climb in underneath and undo those 2 bolts. So that and that are the 2 bolts that's got to be undone for the exhaust to come loose. I'm going to undo them quickly. So I've had to remove the bracket altogether. That bolt there and the bolt there, because for some reason they've made this piece to go over there and you can't slide it out. It's stupid if you ask me, but anyway, at least now I can move the exhaust back to get it off the turbocharger. See, now the exhaust can move back and out of the way, which is a major help. There's 3 bolts that holds the turbocharger to the manifold. That one and 2 others. You can't really see them. There's the other one. That one there and one at the bottom. Then the casing is loose from the manifold, and then I still have the oil return to remove. I'm going to undo the sides along on the oil return. See how we get on. So I've managed to get both oil return bolts out. One I managed to get from this side. The other one I had to crawl in underneath. Use my 1/4" sockets with the M8 socket on the end. A very long extension, and I managed to get it undone. So all that's left now is the actuator wire, which I also really can't get to from here, and the 3 bolts on the manifold. I'm going to undo those 3 bolts, and then hopefully when the turbocharger moves a little bit, I can get to the actuator wire, because that's that one over there, and I cannot get my hand in there to get it unplugged. So hopefully once I've undone that, I can move it away and undo the plug, and also pull the boost pipe out. I also can't get the boost pipe out, it's not enough space. Anyway, I'm going to undo that quickly. Turbocharger loose. The back bolt was very challenging, but I've got it out. That back stud over there, you can't even, that one, can't even see it. So I'm going to now pull the turbocharger and put it here, and then figure out how to undo the actuator plug. Finally got the turbocharger out. There's a lot of damage, I'll show you guys now. I just want to undo the plug, take it to the bench, and then I can show you. Cool. So this is how it sits in the vehicle, more or less. Let me just prop it up here with something. There we go, and you can see there, it's all cracked loose. I don't know why, don't know what happened. But there's a lot of damage in there. I'm going to take that off quickly and then show you guys. So the shaft that snapped off. Here's a piece of the shaft. Here's a piece of the boosting pillar. It's not going to come out. Anyway. It's completely toast. So when that came apart, it obviously broke the casing. I'm just glad none of that stuff went into my engine. Anyway, time to get it to the turbo rebuilders.